Hello and welcome back to Dara's Dilemmas. For your own purpose, you may want to turn this video up to the highest volume it will go, because it's currently 5 past midnight and I'm terrified because it's so late. Everybody else is asleep. I'm on my own, and this is also a story of my own experience. So sit back, relax, and don't be too afraid. What I thought was my first ghostly experience began in the summer of 2019 at my first job. I was a residential supervisor at a language school in Dublin. We were based in an old board house for an all-girls boarding school. My job was to make sure that the kids went to summer school, went on activities, ate their dinner, and went to sleep. The building was always teeming with life, except from 9 a.m. to 5 a.m. every day and every night. And sometimes during the day, it was just too lonely. It was just myself and 5 other workers. We lived on the 4th floor, and our office was on the bottom floor. All of the kids lived on the floors between. One day, after the kids left for school, the manager asked us to all meet her in the office to help with paperwork. I was on the 4th floor in my room when I got the message. I made my way down the hall towards the elevator. The building that we were in was shaped like an aeroplane. There was a main hallway that I lived on and 2 merging hallways that met at the elevator. I remember how lonely it felt on the floor that day. It was lonely, cold, and still. But the hallway felt longer than usual. When I finally reached the elevator, I pressed the button and paused. Suddenly, I was filled with the dread, and I realized I couldn't move my feet, nor could I move my head. It took a while, too long, but the elevator doors finally opened. I wish they didn't. One of the walls in the elevator had a mirror panel, and in the reflection of the mirror, I saw myself standing there, and forming over my right shoulder was a black, wispy cloud. And all I could think to do in that very moment was speak to it. "Please do not come in here with me," I asked it. I stepped in and whipped around, pressed the button to get to the bottom floor, and kept my back to the mirror. The descent was faster than I expected, but as soon as I reached the ground floor, I told my boss I needed to make a phone call. I rushed by her and outside. I called my mother. I didn't know who else to go to, and I was way too shaken to tell my co-workers. As soon as she answered, I just started explaining. In the middle of the story, when she told me to calm down and to breathe, I felt a warmth come over me, and then I felt a hand on my shoulder. I placed my hand on top of the hand, but there was nothing there. But I wasn't afraid of it. My mother told me of a few other strange instances from my childhood which helped it all to make sense after what happened the very next summer. But after all that, just to be sure, I asked one of the cleaning ladies if anyone had died in the board house. 2 days later, she got back to me with information from the old caretaker who lived at the gatehouse at the front. He plainly said no. While most people would be comforted with that and maybe think they're crazy for seeing something, I was not. That just meant it wasn't something haunting the building. What it meant was that it was something haunting me. And that is all for tonight's story. If you would like to hear the rest of my haunted encounters, don't forget to comment below and let me know. There's a lot more to this story, and it's quite scary, for me anyway. But I have to put a disclaimer. I didn't really believe in this stuff till it all started happening. And then when my mom told me everything, it just got worse. And worse to the point where other people saw it too. But we'll get to that another time. For now, I will see you soon. Sweet dreams.